Okay, and for our final artist talk this hour, please join me in welcoming Karolina Wojtas.
Hi.
Welcome, Karolina. So, Karolina is a Polish artist, and we are here to talk about her book, which I will let you pronounce.
Absgram,
Okay.
which means nothing. It's nonsense word, so don't worry.
Okay. I'm glad to hear that. Which was produced as part of the CO Berlin Talent Award 2022, along with an exhibition which took place in Berlin. And actually, excuse me, I have a copy of the book here that I'm going to pass around. And the thing you will notice already from me holding this book up, it is a rather unusual book in its conception. So I'm going to pass this around the audience. So the book explores the world of school, and as the cover already indicates, and as we're going to be seeing in the spreads from the book, it does this in a very unusual, unconventional way. And I wanted to just first ask you, how did you come up with this subject of wanting to do a project around school?
So, like, schools for me was always a topic because when I was in a primary school or gymnasium or high school, I always want to be a good student, and I thought that teachers are the most important person in my life because I want to have a good grade. So I always trying really hard to achieve this. But through my life, I also meet very weird teacher. For example, my teacher from physical education, because I was always fat, and she wanted to find the solution how to help me to lose my weight. And at the front of the classroom, she asked me to bring my backpack, open it, and show what is inside my sandwich to let know what my mother is feeding me, like why I'm so fat. So this is the one of thing it's totally terrified me. Later, I met a teacher from the Polish lesson, and he told me that I am the worst student because no one was writing as horrible as I am. So that's the reason why I'm always horrible to answer mails or something like this. This is disaster. So this is my personal view on this, but also in 2017, I was photographing school when I was in a high school, but those images it was just my sketchbook. This is no, it's important. But later, in 2017, Polish government have a wonderful idea to change the education system. And in 1 year, they decided to, because before we have three-step schools, like primary school, gymnasium, and then high school. And in 1 year, they decided to close all the gymnasiums, and then they create a huge mess, and it was very weird time.
Right. So it sounds like school was a very traumatic experience in some ways for you. I believe that in terms of the book itself, that it was inspired by a book that you found. Is that correct?
Yes, this book, kind of the colors on the top and the cover, it looked like a typical book from a school book to the math lessons. Yeah.
Math lessons.
Yeah. But I just filled this with the images, and the first page should look supposed to be very simple because there are blank white. I don't first. Sorry.
It's hard to hear as well with the rainstorm that we're currently getting. I mean, I was really struck that the book, when you first open it, it has this table of contents, which looks like the kind of thing you see in every school manual, and looks very rigid and kind of formal. but it's very quickly, it soon becomes very different to that. There are kind of stickers in the book that you can remove, most of which seem to suggest that you've got a bad grade. There is a how to cheat section,
Yes.
a teacher's strike section, so we realize that this is not going to be your conventional kind of school manual. In a way, the book sort of feels like an exercise in breaking as many rules as possible. Like, is that what you set out to do? Was that your objective in the first place with this?
Yes, I think so. Like every possible rules are broken in this book. Like probably maybe when someone like prefer like more simple books, when we'll see this book and just get the heart attack or something, because like everything looks like disaster.
And I've heard you say in some interviews that you really don't like the idea of presenting a single picture on a wall, that is, not how you see photography. And I'm more interested in creating objects and installations which use the photographs that you make. So I'm curious to think about, the book is also a space, like an exhibition space. So how did you go about translating this idea into a book form of not just presenting photographs, but, turning them into something else?
So my idea was to like, because the first pages of the book are like very typical, the images are like small and like first steps are like very easy, and then like if you go through the book, it's getting to be more and more crazy. And like, so in those first pages there are like, I don't know, like the kind of nice school, the good students, good, like everything, it's like good and prepare, and then it's like mess and
And there is an extended section that actually looks like cages, essentially, where it almost feels like the pupils would be like animals in cages.
So the images with the cages, it's actually the documentation of the exhibition. And those cages are very typical things from Polish school, because this is the place where kids are left their shoes or things, like, so it's super typical and normal thing. So every Polish people know those.
There is another kind of recurring character in the book, and that's your younger brother.
Yeah.
And I think we've seen several images of him that appear in this project, and I think he is...
Yeah, he is there.
Yeah, he's right here for the fan. Is the playful, humorous, funny side of it. And that is not something that we see very much of in the fine art photography world. If you walk around Paris Photo, I'm not sure how much playful, funny work you're going to see. So I'm curious to know how important that is to you in terms of your practice with photography.
So I think for me, playing is the most important thing, and I prefer to like not think much and just do, and then like check if it's working or not. And maybe in doing exhibition, it's like better to do exhibition and check. With the book it's impossible, because when you print it's like too late, you cannot check anything, so you just need to handle this. But with the exhibition I like to build something and like and see what happened, and for the next exhibition I'm usually changing idea and doing everything totally different.
I also wanted to ask, so it's like you said, there are some images of your brother, but there are also images of other young children from schools. And how did that process work, like in terms of having them collaborate with you in making these images? Was it all taken in one school, or did you photograph in different locations with one group of children?
So actually, when I started this project, I started with stage photography. So like I create everything, but later I started to visit schools and images with the kids. It was super easy because I asked my mother, and my mother asked their parents, so it was super easy to get access to the kids.
Okay. That is already all the time that we have, but we have still got time for a question from the audience. If we have any questions for Karolina.
Hi. Now the PiS party in Poland is changing to a new government. Does anything happen with your artwork with the new politician in Warsaw in Poland? Does anything change for you?
Not really. Like before, I tried to apply to some scholarship, but I never get. So like now, I don't know. I think nothing changed. Not yet. Maybe like in a month something will change. I hope, but.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Karolina. And Karolina is going to be signing copies of the book at 4 p.m. tomorrow on the booth of Spectre Books, which is booth SE26. So please go along at that point, and you can get a signed copy and speak with Karolina some more. And thank you all for bearing with us through the worst rainstorm that Paris has ever seen.